per sacrosancto humana rei reparationis remitat tibi omnipotens Deus omnes praesentia et futurae vitae pene paradisi portas et ad gaudiae sempiterna perducat.
Father Stephen, they are coming to the fireplace.
But what about you?
Come on.
James.
Courage, little comrade in arms. The battle lowers. The trumpet of Christ calls. Forward. Shall we not falter at the first charge? No, for we follow the leader crucified.
But if you go, and I leave, who will watch the faith of our son?
Fear nothing, Margaret. The Blessed Virgin Mary has never failed those who have trusted in her. I must go before they discover Stephen.
Ducky to read.
We are the least alike for a pair of twins.
Good thing for me, if we look like Wish and Toddler, I'll get the beating for it each time you needed it.
You're right.
John, George's uncle is here. They've come to take him away.
Not now.
Yes, now.
I've had that boy too long just to give him up in a minute's notice. They'll have to prove they're right before they take him.
But John, the minute I saw the gentleman, I knew he must be kin to George. There's no way at all, John. We'll have to give him up to him.
Well, I've no right to keep another man's son. No man would have the right to keep one of mine. But it's going to be hard. I love him like all the rest.
You tell him, John. I can't.
Well, where is he?
He went to the river with Joel. He should be back by now.
I'll go look for him. George, Joel. George, I have something rather hard for me to tell you. There is nothing else to do but say it straight and blunt. I never meant for you to know. You are not one of the Abels, and you are not Joel's twin. Father Cornwell brought you to us, and as far as love and care go, you have been ours.
You were so sweet that night. You looked around with such big eyes. You asked for Donkey Tiwi and called yourself Doherty. So you've been George ever since.
It's a very hard thing for us to do, but we have no right to keep you from your people.
There's the worse than the taking of him. I don't like the looks out of that uncle. How he did curse when he saw Our Lady on the mantle. Perhaps he will lead our lad from the faith.
There can be no man who will lead you into sin if you don't follow his footsteps. You have to stand on your own 2 feet to be a man. But remember one thing, there's nothing worth buying, not fast horses, nor fine houses, not even the place in the king's court, if the price to pay is the fires of hell forevermore.
It is the Gordon. Come along, child.
Wait till I say goodbye.
Do as you're bid, George.
Is this the kind of gratitude you show your uncle who's come overseas in search of you?
You didn't even let me say goodbye to my folk.
Your folk? You do not know who you are. You are Charles Gordon, 4th Earl of Ravenhurst, and you are weeping for your folk. Your father, John Abell, Lord of the Log Cabin and Pigsty, his most noble dame, had a face as wrinkled and browned as the apple she cooked last Candlemas. And these are the folk of the Scion of Ravenhurst.
Sir! Poor or not, the Abels are my folk.
"3 years of labor and the end of failure." Failure? Did a lord of the house of Gordon that cries failure when the first knot comes? We have the heir, and old Ravenhurst will be the greatest earldom in Scotland yet. The heir? We have him indeed. But what an heir. We would do better without him. He has the manners of a clown. He is still learning. Time and training will remedy his lack of culture, but it's the Catholic faith in which ruins all. The faith of a 10-year-old boy ruins all? You see for yourself his stubbornness. Stubbornness? That is the best point in the lad. Do you think a weakling could ever win back the lands of Ravenhurst? Our work is to turn his strong will from his faith to what we wish. Very easily said, Godfrey. But what else have I striven to do since the day I found him? Right at this moment, that Abel has more influence over him than I. Sir Roger, fire and sword cannot turn the boy from his faith, not while he loves it. But give him time and he'll forget both Abel and his teachings. Then in later years, when it is a choice between lands, castles, and the king's favor, and the Catholic faith and poverty, there may be a struggle, but trust me, the faith will go. Or he will die, leading a fool's chase of a rebellion. We have seen this before. True, but he is only a child. The child's faith dies if it is not nourished. The only one I fear is his mother. If you follow my advice, he must never see her, never know that she lives. I need the mother's evidence that he is the heir. Lady Margaret will not dare cross my will. She knows the penalty. Lady Margaret will not dare? Remember that frail and gentle woman is a Douglas, who ever yet bent the will of a Douglas. Let her once speak to him. Let her once tell him of Angus, the old earl, or of that fool, James. It will be an easy task to lead the boy, but the boy with his mother at his back, aye, that is a different tale. She will have more influence over him than a dozen Abels. She will fare ill if she crosses wills with me. There is such a thing as a will of a Gordon as that of a Douglas. If she dares open her lips, I will execute the law to its fullest extent.
The Gordon! How much he resembles his father. A. Too much like the old Earl, I fear. God grants him a better end.
Are you someone who belongs to me?
I am your mother, Gordon, and you're welcome home.
His lordship is bound by the voyage, huh?
And since when was a weathered face a disgrace at Ravenhurst? In truth, there never was a carpet knight among the lairds. From Gordon no fire the braes, to your most noble brother.
But then he has you, my lord. We should have no fear of the mother's influence proving unwise while the uncle is at hand.
I'll indeed do my duty, my lord, both by the heir and by Ravenhurst. Lady Margaret will wisely remember that there are laws concerning the imparting of knowledge of certain dangerous subjects to the youth of this land.
I am well aware of the laws of which you speak, and I know how to conform myself to them.
Ah, the old Earl's room. This very room you were born. It has belonged to the Earls for generations. It will be yours now.
Oh, Benson, look at that beautiful fireplace. And those must be the deer antlers of old Fire the Braze.
Ah, old Fire the Braze. May you have a good night's rest, my lord.
We don't ever place things on the mantle, my son. Are you lonesome in this grand old house?
I was thinking of Joel and the folks at home.
Who's Joel?
Joel, he's my twin. At least we always thought we were twins. I didn't even get to say goodbye. But you're not angry.
Why would I be angry?
Uncle Roger was angry.
Gordon, I would have been grieved if you had no love in your heart for that woman who, in spite of her poverty, took a homeless babe to her heart and was so true to her mother, you didn't believe you were not her son. Someday, you must do great things for them. But all we can do now is write and tell them of your safe arrival.
That would please them. Daddy Abell cannot read until Father Carmel comes.
Father Cornwall.
The Abell's a Catholic mother, and I am too.
How well our Blessed Lady has watched over my boy.
Mother, if you are a Catholic, why did you look at me like that?
I wish to learn what metal you are formed, my son. There is one weakling in the house of Gordon. Had you shown a spirit like Sir Roger, had you a bent because you feared me, I would have disowned you, though it broke my heart. The Earls of Ravenhurst must always stand for God and our Blessed Lady, let the cost be what it may. Did they not tell you anything else?
They named me George, because I called myself Doherty. And I also called for Donkey TV.
Did they tell Roger that?
No.
Thank God. It was for your Uncle Stephen that you called. Your Uncle Stephen is one of our brave and noble priests whom neither the fear of prison nor death can drive from Scotland. Roger would well know the meaning of your wail for Donkey Tiwi, and one more nail will be driven to my poor brother's coffin. I have much to tell you this night. Things of import, matters that cannot be trusted to cowards. It was for this reason that I tried your metal, and your mother's heart was glad to hear it back true Gordon steel. Of the things that I tell you tonight, speak nothing. You're yet a boy, do not know friend from foe. Whatever be your need, put no trust in Godfrey.
Godfrey? I thought you were going to tell me not to trust Uncle Roger.
Why would I warn when there's no danger? You've already taken the measure of Sir Roger, but I warn you, put no trust in Godfrey. What do you know about your father?
Nothing.
So you shall learn of him from me, and that's well. I was an orphan in this house, a child of a Douglas, but penniless. James was Earl of Ravenhurst, not as it is today, but as it was, in a bleak winter time of poverty and pain. Yet there are gifts that gold and fame can never buy. for God alone has the giving of them. God gave to your father and me a love that was blessed before his very throne in heaven. Here, standing before this very fireplace, we were married. Your father and I waited long before our wedding day because no priest had come this way for many years, and we would have rather gone single to our grave than been married by any other than the priest of God's holy church. God sent his minister to us, and the castle bells rang with mirth and song. Never was there a gayer wedding, nor one laugh less light, because both bridal pair and merrymaking clan had nothing but oat cake and ale to feast upon. 3 years God gave joy to James and me, but then he sent the cross. For it was that one night that the dragoons came to take your father away.
Where's my father now?
I never learned what befell him. So many years have passed. I hope he's dead.
Hope he's dead?
Yes, Gordon. I hope my brave, noble Jamie is dead. For if he's dead, he's with all the martyred Gordons who stand before the great white throne. But if he's living, he's in some foul dungeon, suffering hunger, thirst, the rack, I know not what.
Mother, perhaps we could try finding him. Maybe the priest here would help us. Father Cardinal knew everything.
My son, you have forgotten we do not live in Mary's land beyond the sea. I have been present at Mass 5 times in my entire life.
No Mass? But on Sunday. You have to go to Mass on Sunday.
When on a Sunday, I am longing to be in lands where Mass bells ring, I come here, and I kneel beside the old fireplace. Many times in bygone years, priests of God have made this mantle an altar. Many times within these walls, angels have covered their faces with their wings and said, Sanctus, Sanctus, Sanctus. Once did wicked men spill here the blood of our precious Lord. That silver spot marks the place where the drops of precious blood fell so many years ago. Therefore, to this holy room I come, and I kneel beside the old fireplace, and I kiss that silver spot, and I beg the good Lord to come to me in spirit, since I cannot receive him in the Blessed Sacrament. You can do this too, but we must not come together. We must not stay more than a minute. If Roger were to hear of it, this small comfort would be denied us.
Uncle Roger's mean to you. And now that I'm here, if you dare say a word out.
Then you keep your temper and say nothing. Nothing Roger says can wound me. Only those we love cause us grief. Let me see you grow up day by day, and then your mother will be a happy woman. Come with me. Gordon, if unknown need should catch you unprepared, I must give you one final word of warning. If you're in need of help, call in Benson. Failing her, Edwin the gate warden is true. If you're forced to flee from the castle, you have loyal clansmen living in the fastness of Ben Ender's glens. Their chief and the best of them is Muckle John of the Cluth. There's a secret passage that opens from the same fireplace. It's not known to Sir Roger.
Mother, if you had to flee from the castle, you would be here and know where the paths are.
It is not wise to face trouble before it comes. Be silent and brave, my son. We'll trust to God and Our Lady, and hope that all will go well.
Well, my lord, are you awake at last? I was beginning to think that you would sleep the clock round once more.
Very late, is it?
Yes, 2 by the sundial.
How come Benson didn't call me?
Pray, who is Benson?
You know Benson, the kind of woman who brought me my supper.
Oh, you mean Betsy.
No, I mean Benson.
I believe her father's name was Tam. I don't think she will take kindly to being called Ben's son, but call her what you may. Don't say she was old. Betsy is a blooming lass who just turned 16 last Candlemas.
No, she is old. And her name is Benson. I know, because she brought me my supper.
Have your will, my lord, but I won't trust anything you say about last night. The guests were scarcely seated when you had just fallen asleep on your mother's knee. Even though they had come from miles, there was no chance of waking you up. So Betsy was called to get you.
What did Mother say when I was not at breakfast?
Your mother didn't have time to trouble herself about such small matters. They all went out riding early to Lindsley Hall. Lord Berthune is going to be married this weekend.
Why'd she go so soon? My mother won't be away all week. What would she be doing?
What would any lady be doing? Dancing and riding with the hunt and having a gay and merry time.
I don't see how an old woman like my mother would like to dance so much. And she won't be back till after the wedding?
You must have a bee in your bonnet for calling people old. First sweet Betsy, and now your mother? It is good that your mother did not hear you call her old.
She is old. Her hair is Snow White.
Snow White? What a sleepy-eyed child you were last night. Your mother is sweet and fair. As for her age, you would have a gray hair if she were old. Here you are saying she is old, aye, even white-haired. There are many who would say that the Countess of Ravenhurst is the most beautiful woman in all of Scotland. Her age is 26, but none would guess it.
You have never spoken to my father before. Please tell me, where is he?
You never asked before, my lord. He is dead. The old bells rang with hunt and song for 2 short years, and Lady Margaret was a widow. Your father died quite suddenly, caught a cold while hunting, and then was gone in 1 short week. Come, let us think of more joyful things. For your mother to be happy with you when she gets back. Let's see how much you can learn.
You see, my mother is coming. I forgot my dignity. I couldn't help forgetting.
Lady Margaret's a-coming? Is she? No wonder you're running at top speed. As you flew bounding over the hedge, I could just make my old eyes tell me that was the young lord and not the gay Lord Jamie of long ago.
Jamie? You mean my father. Did he ever forget his dignity?
I can't think of the day when the Lord Jamie had the dignity to forget. If I was to haul him down from a battlement's edge, I was fishing him out of the moat. 'Twas the young Lord Roger who had all the dignity from one end of the earth to the other. My own body and Jamie are bold and free as the wind. Your father was a straight doing, upstanding skies were all the Gordons for him, and there is nobody who can turn you into a prancing prig, for you are a true Gordon.
But I ran down the hall and slid down the baluster.
Worry no more! None but servants saw ye. Neither lad nor lass would tattle on you. But shh! Godfrey be coming, and he may howl to Sir Roger that you broke the plumes of your dignity by talking with the common soldier. But if you ever have a need, old Edwin's at your service.
Mother, is she ill?
No, my Gordon. There was no reason for her to leave the merrymaking. She might as well stay there until the end.
Is she coming home tomorrow?
No, I doubt you ever see her before reaching manhood. She has been chosen a maid of honor by the Queen and must go to London at once.
Let him alone, my lord. Let that dose sink in.
My Gordon! How's your mother?
My mother.
Is something wrong?
She went to London to be something for the Queen. All she cares about is dancing and partying.
You believe that?
Believe it, isn't it true?
Not one word of it.
Then where is she?
I do not know where she may be.
Then how can you say his story's not true?
Because I know Margaret of Douglas. Poor Margaret, how much she has suffered. And you, boy, how could you think such things of your own mother?
But Godfrey said so.
Godfrey's your friend, is he not?
He's always been kind to me.
Oh yes, very kind. He tells you what a bright boy you are, and that you'll be the best lord that old Ravenhurst ever had.
How'd you know that?
Godfrey is Bertrand's son. Do you know who Bertrand is? In time he shall. A devil with the oil of flattery on his lips is a double devil. So, Margaret is gone. Did she speak to you of your father or of the old faith before she disappeared? You didn't know who I am, do you not?
No, sir. Who are you that knows so much about me and my mother?
Stephen Douglas.
Uncle Stephen? Donkey Tiwi?
You have changed much since you used to call me that. Did your mother speak of Sir James or of religion?
Yes, Uncle Stephen.
Do you know the penalty of such an action?
No, Father.
If any widow teaches the old religion to any of her children, any Protestant relative may take them from her. Sir Roger told her if she ever spoke to you of Sir James or of the old religion, he would execute the law to the fullest extent.
If you had told me.
Your mother knew the risk and took it. Fearing you might get into some foolish attempt to rescue her, she did not tell you of Sir Roger's threat. That would be Margaret's way. God grant the traitor enough mercy to put her in a cell above ground.
Where do you think she is?
Oh, someplace in the old castle. In or under the north tower. The dungeons are there.
And she has been suffering. All I've been thinking mean things about her.
Let it be a lesson to you. Never let anything come between you and your mother or you and your God. These friends are always true.
Uncle, is my mother a little white-haired, a little frail, gentle woman? Godfrey said that she's a beautiful young woman.
Your mother's not old in years. She seems old because she has suffered so much since that night when the dragoons came for your father. Sir James let me make the castle my headquarters. You know I'm an outlaw, child. To give me shelter is a crime punishable by death. I fear your father gave his life for mine. Could you remember the night that followed your father's arrest? You would know if your mother loved you or not. And you let that smooth-tongued devil Godfrey make you hate her. No! Those words were too sharp. You're only a lad. How could you know the depths of your mother's love?
Uncle, Mother said that you are a priest.
Well, I am, child.
Then could I go to confession? I've been fasting. Could I even receive communion? Maybe then I won't be so...
If Sir Roger were to know that you had received the sacraments, he would be very angry.
I shall not mind. He often gets angry at me.
This will be a different kind of angry. He is cruel, as all cowards are. No one will dare to defend you.
My father has suffered. My mother is suffering now.
So you are ready to take your first step on the path of those who have suffered for God.
Why are you covering my eyes? Do you think I'll tell where the good Lord is hiding?
No, child, you will not tell. I did not mean that. But Godfrey will ask sharp questions and see by your face if you are telling the truth or not. Bertrand's son is cunning, but he cannot learn from you what you do not know. You will go with the fly on. We have a long walk before us. Say your prayers as we go.
How comes this? A fire on the sacred stone? Who dared?
Please, my lord, the young gentleman just arose. I have no time to clean. I will have this all...
Clean it? You know very well, every servant knows well, that there must never be a fire on this hearth.
Please, my lord, we thought you had changed your mind. Master Godfrey told us it was your orders, my lord.
Godfrey? Godfrey! Come in here. Bid Godfrey come in here at once.
Yes, my lord.
It's not that I have any Romanism in me. I'm not a Roman Catholic. I never was one. At least not since my reason has been that of a man. A brilliant, well-educated man. It was my mother's deathbed request to make sure that nothing should harm the sacred stone. Sacred? No, not sacred. A little wine fell on it years and years ago. But as a man, I must respect my mother's deathbed request. Every gentleman does it.
Please, my lord, Godfrey cannot be found. But Ben's with me to help, and we'll fix everything just as it used to be. We'll scrub it until it shines again. The stone you wish kept so clean, it has not been harmed. We placed another one on top of it.
Let's talk, girl. Set to work. The stone must always be kept clean, because a fireplace is an heirloom, valuable as such, and not to be marred as common use. Godfrey, how dare you change the Earl's room and light a fire on it?
All was necessary. The matter at hand is that Gordon has been gone too long. We need to search for him in case he's being detained.
How could he disappear at such a moment? Why haven't you gone in search of him yet?
I thought it better to wait for you.
Let's get going then.
Perhaps the Gordon has been talking to someone.
It would mean foul luck if Muckle John saw the boy alone and contrived.
But this is a fair day. John should be far out at sea fishing.
Then who? Stephen Douglas?
May the fiends defend us from him. That cutthroat of a priest has spoiled more plans of mine than any man.
That brat has been with Douglas. He'll learn before he is an hour older who he is dealing with.
Oh my lord, have a care. Don't try force on the boy. It's the worst.
Don't try force. Don't try force. It's always your tune.
Think, he has been with Stephen Douglas. He may have heart and soul set on being a martyr. I'll have that priest on the scaffold yet. But don't try force on the boy now. He'll only have aroused all the stubbornness in him. Then if he has been with the priest, he may have received the sacraments and...
You believe in that sacrament magic?
No, but it has a strong effect on those who do. Call out every man to beat the woods for Douglas after you get Gordon quietly up to the castle.
I'll put the bloodhounds on that outlaw. But go gently with the boy. If he's received the sacraments, I'll teach him the magic of pain.
Remember your brother James. Remember the will of the house of Gordon. Neither you nor any man can break it.
And of what house do I come of? Am I not a scion of the house of Gordon? Can you break my will?
Weakling of the house of Gordon.
Explain your conduct.
I'm sorry if I caused any trouble, sir.
What has detained you all this time? Did you speak to anyone in the woods? Speak up. Don't try to deceive me. No words are needed. Your face speaks for itself. You were talking to someone in the woods, weren't you? Was it that Stephen Douglas?
Gordon, I know you meant no harm, but you went to confession to him in the old ruin, didn't you? Not at the ruin? Where then?
Answer, will you?
Gordon does not know, my lord. Douglas often binds the eyes of those whom he thinks too young.
You will answer like a gentleman, whether you know it or not. You dare be stubborn with me.
The child does not know, I tell you.
Know your place, Godfrey. The boy would have had his lesson long ago if it weren't for you. Open-faced rebellion, receiving treasonable sacraments, talking to an outlawed priest, refusing to answer when spoken to. Have you ever heard of the fourth commandment?
The fourth commandment says honor thy mother and father. It doesn't say one word about uncles.
You can find your tongue soon enough when you wish to give impudence with it. Is Stephen Douglas not your uncle? You do his bidding. You are fortunate that I am too merciful to give you more. But you deserve no mercy. You will go to your room at once. You have no food or water until you tell me what happened this morning. Yes, and you will quit the Catholic Church.
Why, Bessie, what's happened? Land's sakes, I do hope your lordship won't be upset about it. Sir Roger, he would like it back again like it used to be.
Upset? No, but how did it happen?
God bless you, my lord. You never fuss. But his lordship, Sir Roger, what a temper. He flew in when he found it was changed. But for the mercy of Our Lady, lad, what happened to your face? I'll run for some sand.
No, Bessie, I'd rather ask you something. Do you know where Mother is?
Me laird, there is nothing I would not do. But the risk isn't just to me. My old mother, she's a widow, and the few pence I make is all she has. I cannot lose my place.
You do know something. Tell me, Betsy. No one ever find out that you told me. I want to find my mother.
Well, it is little enough, my lord. None of us servants ever believed Lady Margaret went gallivanting off to London. Not that she is not worthy of the king's court, but the tale did not fit. Some things don't fit with some people. The countess is gentle, my lord, very kind and cheery always, but not carefree. She was always planning things for the poor, or sending little comforts to this old granny or that. You see, the tale did not fit, and not one of us believed it. We were ordered on our lives not to let anyone in the village know she was no longer at the castle, and from that time, Godfrey began getting 2 extra portions from the cook. He always feeds the prisoners, so that made us think.
Benson, the prisoners. Where are they kept?
The dungeons, under the North Tower. My lord, you had better mind yourself today. Don't cross Sir Roger when he's in a temper. He would as soon put you into one of those black holes as eat his supper. I am fearing you are in trouble with him now, for no one else would dare strike your lordship.
Don't you know anything else?
No, my lord. Nothing more.
Have you had enough of disobeying uncles?
You let my mother out of that prison right now, underage or not. I am the Earl, and you shall pay for this and all your lies.
Hunger will tame you, my angelic nephew.
You'll pay for this! No. Should never hear a whine or see a mark of a tear. He can go without that much fun. After all, I do kind of deserve it. Boy was never so mean to his own mother.
My son, in prayer the thought often comes to me that as you were sent out all alone to learn your faith, so you shall stand out all alone on that day when your faith is tried. What will that trial be? Pain of mind? Of body? Both? I do not know, but always I feel I shall not be near to blunt the jagged edge of that pain. Yet I can tell you, my son, you are not the first Gordon who has suffered. This tale will show how knights of Christ do win their golden spurs. Courage then, my son. Whether I'm living or dead, my prayers shall plead for you in that hour, and accept this small gift. It is all I have to give, child, save the heart's deepest love of your mother.
Captain John Brand, I was your godfather at baptism. I tell you now by the vows I took then that the sin that you have committed is terrible. The punishments of Almighty God are grievous.
But my orders, sir.
And since when do the orders of a king make it lawful to break the laws of the King of Kings?
Come, we have done enough of the devil's work for one day.
You white-livered cowards. 6 seasoned veterans against one old fool and a fisherman's gilly. 1,000 pounds reward for the priest's body. The rubies on that chalice are worth rattling guineas. Here you stand like whipped curs in fear of the lang sword. Don't you know that the old cutthroat has reached his doddering days?
If fight you will, fight I will. But I draw for the other side. Perhaps God may forgive me the sins of this night.
He will forgive you. Bertrand, you have spilt the blood of man this night, and the blood of a holy priest. But have a care, Bertrand. If you touch that chalice, the blood of Christ is on your hands.
Come on, let it alone.
It'll be bad luck with the chalice alone.
It's worth guineas, rattling guineas.
We must not leave the altar so.
No, Stephen, we dare not. It's only for priests to touch holy things.
But there isn't any priest. Friar Walter was the only one we ever saw.
There must be one somewhere. I'll go and I'll never stop until I find one.
The fear has taken your wits, Jamie. Can you go miles in minutes? We must do something now.
It's you that's lost your wits. You know it's a sin to touch holy things.
At times like this, we can, when there isn't any priest.
Not at any time, Stephen. Don't pull away. It will be a sin.
Friar Walter said so.
He said so?
Yes, he said it, I tell you. And Sir Angus said it too.
Well, if you have Friar Walter's word for it.
Don't go! Are you afraid to pass those?
Stay where you are, Roger. Margaret will take care of you. Oh, Stephen, are you sure you heard him right?
But I did hear him right.
Well, what did he say for us to do?
Oh, that's what I don't know. We should do whatever should be done, but I don't know what should be done. Oh Lord, we don't know what we ought to do, but we must do something. Forgive us if we make mistakes, and forgive us our sins, that we not be too bad to touch your sacred body and most precious blood.
What's that?
On the stair.
It's a step. Bertrand. He said he's coming back for the chalice.
Quick, how do you open the passage in the fireplace?
That won't work. Bertrand knows the hiding places better than we do.
Then I'll go up. It'll be better than just leaving it on the mantle. Here, Jamie, help me.
Gone. Gone as I am a living man. Where's the chalice? Don't deny you know.
I'm not denying it.
Then where is it?
Do you think I'm just gonna tell you?
There's no time to waste. Who else is under there? Margaret? Roger. Where'd you put the chalice?
I didn't touch it! I told them not to.
Who?
Steve! You dare say a word. Isn't there a drop of Gordon blood in you? A traitor is no brother of mine. Leave the baby out of this, Bertrand. If you want to take any spite on anyone, take it out on me.
Answer me.
Please let me go.
Where is it?
They'll tell Mother on me.
Your mother's in prison. Small harm or help she'll be to you.
Ow, please stop, Bertrand. I'll give you fine things when I grow up if you do.
Fine gifts of young Laird Landless.
Steve!
Stephen! He's on the chimney with it!
So that's your game. Soot works two ways, boy. You better come down before the fire is lit. There's kindling in the hall. Roger, go get it.
You just dare!
Do as I bid you, Roger. I'll take care of your meddling brother and settle him.
Let me go! Stop it!
Roger, light the fire.
If you do!
When I tell you to do something, you better do it. Next time it would be wiser if you listened to me.
Pray, Margaret, pray. Stephen will die. He'll never give up. Ah! Ah! It's not the trooper after all. It's Uncle John moving in from underneath. Come out and cut us free.
I cannot get out. I cannot move the body. I could only move him so as to give the laugh to Bertrand.
Come on, Roger, and let us free. You won't hurt me? Promise you won't? Come on, you little snake, and untie us. Stephen's in the chimney and he can't get out. Come on, Margaret, roll the trooper off of John. I'll help Stephen. Come down, Stephen, I'll catch you. Stephen? He must have fainted. Margaret, come help me. If only you would cough or something. Oh, Holy Mother, Stephen was hurt taking care of your son. John can't do anything. We haven't Mother or Benson or anybody. Won't you help us? Who put that dirty rag over the blessed sack? Oh, yes, the soot in the chimney.
Oh, my laird! Make room! Here to be the fine Catholic nobles! Give place, let them see the old fool pass!
Good people of Scotland, the royal court have sentenced Sir Angus Gordon. I'll be not called a traitor shout. Look, they're pointing at us. Are you ashamed of grandfather? This time don't be a coward. Words cannot hurt us when we know they're not true.
Be throwing your bonnets in the air, lads! This man will be Earl of Ravenhurst before he's an hour older. Let the Earl's death be a lesson to you. Give good riddance to Catholics.
When I am Earl, I shall take up the battle where my grandfather lays it down. It is owing to the kindness of our king that Sir Angus Gordon hasn't been beheaded long before this day. He is accused of treason. He has kept a cursed Catholic friar in his house, and he commanded him to say the Popish Mass. Do you have anything to say?
Sir Henry of Russell asked what I'd like to say in this accusation of treason against my knightly honor. How am I to be found worthy to fall under the banner of King of Kings? Worthy of my place in the red-robed army led by St. Stephen, the first martyr. I thank God for the honor done me. Stand for God and Our Lady until we meet again. Sir Henry of Russell, I thank your courtesy.
with it, man! Go find Abell to do a foul work for you. I won't have innocent blood on these hands. Strike or rot in my dungeon. I won't have a good man's blood on these hands.
Aye, hold it, Alan. There speaks the Gordon.
The Gordon!
This is madness, pure madness. Don't you know you cannot save me? Do you think I will die easier knowing that there will be more Gordon wives as widows? More Gordon orphans will wail for bread.
Are you men that you dally so?
Why should we stand for King James? Russell's a Lowlander! Scots are we all!
We are lost.
The Gordon! The Gordon!
A headsman! A headsman! 50 pounds for a headsman! 100 pounds for a headsman! 500 pounds for a headsman! The precious blood fell 8 years ago. Father Cornwell said it went all over the stones when they scourged you. Oh, how it must have hurt. Uncle Roger only brought it to me a few times. But you were covered in blood all over.
If you're forced to flee from the castle, you have loyal clansmen living in the fastness of Ben Ender's glens.
The foolish child will yield in the morning.
The Gordon will not be fooled twice by any man, yet there is a way.
And that is?
Tomorrow we will go to him and tell him that his courage has won our hearts, that we must respect a faith that has made so young a lad so great a hero. We will give him full liberty to practice his religion, privately.
Are you mad?
We will mend the madness with this.
You mean?
Its action is very gentle, my lord. As the warm days come, a paleness, a weakness, a slight malaria. Yet in the autumn all the gentle folk of the countryside will come to the funeral of this promising boy. And the mourning uncle will be very sad, of course. But the mourning uncle will be the Earl of Ravenhurst.
What were the Muckle Johns like?
Who are you? Speak out. Are you of the old faith or the new?
I'm a Catholic, sir.
Well spoken. Speak out, child. It is a friend you have met.
If you're a friend, you'd let me go.
Let you go on following blind Duncan?
Duncan, sir, you're mistaken. I don't know him.
Nor will you. When boys follow blind Duncan, they go down a winding passage. It has gone down a long way, it will go up a long way, but never to the light of God's day.
Do you mean there's no way out of this passage?
No way you can without guidance, yet this one is so dangerous that it would be tempting God to send a child through it, were you not in need. But answer my question now. Afterwards, I'll help you with what I can. First, the old question. Who are you?
I'd not like to talk to strangers, sir. What is your own name, please?
I told you, a friend, but come, child, you waste time.
A friend wouldn't torment me. Why should you even think you are one? I don't know you.
It would indeed be a very wicked man who would not befriend a lost child in the blind Duncan passage. Let it pass at that. Who are you?
I'm the Gordon.
That you are not.
Sir!
It is the chieftain alone who is called the Gordon. You are not yet Earl of Ravenhurst, my lad, but you are a Gordon, a small splinter o'er the langsword. You are he who was born 10 years ago on the feast of Our Lady of Harvest.
How in the world did you learn that?
All the day long there has been a foreboding thought that the boy is in danger. And now, sweet mother, you bring him to me? And Margaret, Your mother, lad, did she live or die?
She's alive. I hope.
You hope? Why don't you know?
Sir, I cannot talk these things. Why do you want to know so much about me and my mother? My ankle, it's sore.
Poor little one. There, it does not hurt now. Of course you cannot speak these things to a stranger. But I have the best of reasons in all the world to ask about you and your mother. I'm your father, Gordon. James O. Gordon.
My own father? Why do I always get these things wrong? I struck you and made you bleed.
You struck only to defend yourself. There's no pain, laddie, but if there was, such joy in my heart would drown such a small matter. If only you knew the joy it gave me to hear that it was my own son's voice that rang out so true when you told me your faith, such joy is worth all these long years of suffering. But your mother, where is she? What new harm has Godfrey done?
I don't know. Betsy thinks she's in the dungeons, and Father Stephen thinks she's in the North Tower.
Probably. That is the prison tower. But what reason did he give?
He said that Mother broke some law telling me about you and the faith.
And Roger took full advantage of all his legal rights as guardian. God help me if evil has come to Margaret.
Could we begin looking for her now, Father?
Not even a possibility. This hole is still too small for me to crawl through.
Maybe the passage you're in connects to this one.
I'm not in a passage. I'm lying on my face in a tunnel that I'm making. My feet are a yard away from my cell. 3rd level of Fire the Brave's dungeon.
You're in a cell of this castle? Mother said the King's Dragoons took you years ago.
They did, but after 6 long months of rack and dungeon, they let me go. I staggered home to Ravenhurst one night. Godfrey found me, too weakened to offer resistance. He was in for giving me a merciful sword thrust, but my gentle brother could not bring himself to risk murder. Instead, he gave me a pleasant chamber here for the rest of my days. Of your mother, you tell me nothing. I left her at the point of death, and I've been wondering which ways the tide of life has gone. Almost close to, well, God's hand has been over us.
But you have been alone in this dark dungeon cell ever since I was a baby? How did you...
When a man faces life imprisonment, he has 2 things to do. Despair, brood over his wrongs, or find some work, some business that will save both mind and reason.
But what work? Oh, I know, you made this tunnel. That wouldn't take 10 years.
Would it not? Grinding out granite with a ring fastened to a spur? Such work is swiftly done?
But you have been here in this dark night, all through those jolly days when I used to play with Joel.
Joel? Ah, that Maryland farmer's son. Jolly days you call your old life. Perhaps you have found out that there are worse fates than a farmer's toil.
Worse fates? I wouldn't give 1 log of Daddy Abel's cabin for all Castle Ravenhurst. Oh, Father, I didn't mean that to hurt. Just if you and Mother had been here all winter, both like Uncle Roger, don't make home. It's a log cabin that stays in my mind when I stay home.
And you'll be willing to go back?
Do you mean there's a possible way?
There is, but one great sacrifice must be made if we ever go to Maryland. The coronet of Ravenhurst must be given up forever. Log cabins and long titles don't go together.
Oh, is that all? I thought I had to leave you or Mother.
Who taught you that lesson?
What lesson? Godfrey has been teaching me Latin and things.
No, this is not one of Godfrey's tasks. Sir Angus strove to write it in my mind, and so I learned it on the day when my treason was proved or declared to be. Before the peers of Scotland, I knew it was lost. I saw the crest of Gordon destroyed. And I learned it here in this dungeon, while through the long black hours I knelt alone with God, who had declared this sorrow for me. Imprisoned by my own brother, under my own strong battle tower, a branded outlaw for whom it was a favor for Scotland to kill. Spurned from the presence of the Scottish king, here I found the presence chamber of the King of Kings. But now we must face the present. Roger is hunting for you, or soon will be. It will take a month to grind this hole out big enough for me to crawl through, but a strong man with a pickaxe can do it less than an hour. You were seeking John o' the Cliff when I caught you. He's the man we need.
But Father, how should I ever find Uncle John o' the Cliff? I've been looking for him so long, it seems like always.
Small wonder you think so. You have been traveling on your poor knees around Castle Ravenhurst 6 times, and were beginning your 7th when I caught you. Margaret sent you by the fireplace safe and direct, without any cross tunnels, but they are not as sound as they are in olden days. So through the worst I must send you, the wicked death trap of blind Duncan. It was pitied to catch men. God pity the child that should fall into one of those holes. They're 10 feet deep, with mossy sides, paved with points. Keep close to the wall, and you will be safe. Now go. May God keep his hand over my boy.
Aye, I have news for you. Roger beat the wee chief and would have murdered him. God give me strength of arm until I deal the weakling his portion. Blow for blow I will pay him before swinging from the seaward's tower tip, far out over the wave-beaten rocks below. More hear you, Sir Jamie be alive and calling the clan. Speed you all to Rock Raven!
But it's the truth, Master Godfrey.
Don't try and fool me. That boy did not fly out the window or crawl through the keyhole. I saw you whispering at the crack.
Sir, I did. But say that...
Lie again and I'll bash your head in.
Give a sound, I'll drive my dirk to the black heart of you devil's bloodhound that you are. Have no fear, child. We are more rough in look than in deed. As for you, Godfrey, son of Bertrand, if you love your foul life, you'll answer me true. Where are the keys to the dungeon?
They're on a peg in Sir Roger's room.
He's lying.
You'll probably want to know the cells of Lady Margaret and the Earl. I'll tell you that gladly. The Earl is level 3, cell 8. The lady, level 2, cell 9. You have the heir. Keep him. But can you prove to the courts of Scotland that he is the heir? The parents will not help you there, because dead men tell no tales.
If you are telling a lie, I think I will dirk you. If you are telling the truth, I know I will. You are so overwise and all-knowing. It's bitter pity old Satan have not given you a seat on his council bench before now. Wat and Will, keep this devil's darling under your wings. Dirk him if he makes a sound. Shh! Edwin!
At your service! Are they all safe with you in the kloof?
The boy is.
Then where are his lord and his lady? While we were searching the secret ways, I found Sir Jamie. I helped him out, and then I got his lady out. Then I went for food, came back, and could not find them. Down the stairs! Be after us!
Hark!
There, Jamie?
Who's with you, Edwin?
Uncle John, Donald, and the rest of the brave lads from the kloof.
My boy, did he reach you?
Aye, my lady, he did. A fine messenger. Had all of Jamie's orders down by heart. But we thought best if you stay with Jeannie in case we run to Roger.
Oh, good. We feared he never reached you.
We've been searching the death pits ever since. Uncle John.
Aye, sir. It's sure good to hear your voice again.
Father has the sacred vessels. But we could not get the stone. It was too heavy for us to bring. Will you take your boys and get it?
Aye, sir.
Donald, do you remember where he hid the chest of gold?
Aye, sir.
Guide Uncle John and get it.
Aye, sir.
Edwin, could you get the dungeon keys?
Aye, sir. Uncle John has them.
Are any of the clansmen in the dungeons?
Aye, sir. There's Peter Skipper. Sir Roger suspected he'll hide the young lord.
I trust you, Edwin. Release all innocent men of Clan Gordon. We shall all meet where the 3 arches connect to the main tunnel. Now go. I wonder if the forests in Mary's land are as green as they are here.
You're not thinking of going to the land beyond the sea, my lord. Just give us the word and we'll have Brockman before the sun's at the noon dial.
No, Roger may have the castle. And all the world's goods that go with it.
Sir, you won't give your rights to that traitor?
Let it pass at that, you brave-hearted clansmen. Is there anything better in this world than heaps of stone and piles of treasure and gold.
Well, Sir Jamie, if you don't want to take Rock Raven from your brother, you can fix a stronghold in the high crag.
I have a better plan to offer. The cause for which our father stood is dead now in Scotland. To the new world we should turn our eyes. There, the old cause is anew.
Aye, will you lead us there? That's a plan worth hearing if the sailors' tales be true. Aye, Spanish gold!
No, I am not promising fortune in the new land. It is not a land where gold is picked up by the handful. Those who go to Maryland with me must go for one reason: to worship our God. There are few priests left here in Scotland, and soon there will be none. And without priests and the sacraments, the faith must die among our children. There we shall be free men in a free land, and we will have the right to adore our God as our souls cry out to do. And we shall rear our children in the Catholic faith. Who is willing to follow me?
Sir, the Clan Gordon has always followed the chief. I will be at your service. Uncle John, don't be standing there all day with your eye, sir.
Never to know Scotland anymore.
Uncle John, you're the last man I'll be taking for a lagger.
Lagger? Who be lagging? All of the clan be going, save Edwin. He cannot come until he lays his mother in the grave. The whole clan be going, but it cuts, man.
And I have a greater burden for you, my brave John. You are the best seaman among us all. It lies on your lot to run the ship.
Sir, I'm not fit for that. I'd land you on Davy's locker. You need a deep seas man.
And by the time we found such a captain, what would have Roger done?
Get 2 ships to guard the mouth of the Frith. If it must be, going must at the morning tide before sunup. We'll run it for the Irish coast. There we might pick up a deep seas captain, food and such.
Well planned, Uncle John. Father, that's where we could get your altar wine.
No, my duty is here. The few Gordons who cannot go must not be left without the sacraments.
No, do not stay.
Uncle John, where are you going?
The dungeon is giving you eyes on the back of your head. My lord, I have a wee bit of business to be done.
And that business is?
That I'd rather not tell you.
Out with that business, John.
Well then, Sir Jamie, you may have settled scores with that traitor at the castle, but I have sworn for the clan to
put the sin of vengeance on your soul a day before you face death on the high seas.
Sin? It be no sin, but I have sworn to give the traitor what he gave the wee chief, with the gnawed lash of a galley whip. I have sworn to flee him from the tip of the tower. Weakling to the house of Gordon, coward, traitor to the faith, he who have traded kith and kin for gold, put his own blood brother to dungeon rot for 10 long years, broke the heart of Lady Margaret with waiting. He would have murdered the wee chief, but you did not see the bruised and bleeding laddie. Sin to kill Roger? I think it be no more sin than crushing a venom-spitting snake under my heel.
Vengeance is a sin, Uncle John. Because Roger has wounded the heart of Christ, need you sin also? What got you that scar, my son?
I am prouder of that scar than all the marks of a Lord's shield.
Proud because you once fell guarding the body of Christ, and now you would wound him again by sin.
Nah, if you say it is truly a sin, I will not wound the heart of him who bled for me. I'll forgive the poor weakling. I'll forgive.
Well, son, how is she?
I just gave her a drink of water. All she needs is something to eat.
Son, we must not complain. We must remember in this strange land that we are beggars, depending on the charity of our clan. It's hard for them to think it, but it is true.
I didn't mean that. Just when Mother had something like soup. Even venison or rabbit stew.
Son, the men have been looking for game all day.
Sure there's none down here on the beach. The storm has sent them all up to the woods. If they won't let me help, then let me hunt.
No, son, you must not go in these strange woods alone. What if you get lost?
But Father, Daddy Abel taught us how to find our way in unknown woods. On short trips, you have to find a good landmark and not get out of sight of it. Oh, please, Father.
Do you give me your word that you will not leave your landmark? Not even for a minute? And be back in an hour? If you find game or not?
Yes, Father. I'm not about 5 miles from Abel's farm.
Second Rosary in honor of Our Lady Star of the Sea for our eternal well-being and safe return of our George.
George?
Don't stand staring. Can't you see he's fit to faint?
Yes, Lizzie. Go get a cup of eggnog.
Oh, Mammy, if you could fix something like this for Mother, don't worry about me.
Don't you think there's more than one egg or one cup of milk on the Abel farm?
Don't fear, we won't take care of any folks of yours. At least a real family. How many be there and where?
About 15. 4 miles away from Sutter's Knob.
15? Tom, Molly, go to the smokehouse, get some ham and bacon.
Daddy, there's fresh cornmeal in the mill.
But how do you know that we're starving?
Lord bless you, there's starvation written on your face.
Are they on the shore or up the bluff?
Up on the sand, but away from the tide. This morning we ran... I forgot! Daddy said that I should be back in an hour, and that was this morning. Once I realized where I was and I...
You clean forgot everything but to run for your mammy. Never mind. I'll stand between you and a switching for once in your life.
I don't mind the switch, but they're worried.
Don't worry, laddie, it will be over soon. Let's go.
No man knew when the Lord called Stephen home, but one year, when the snows of Ben Ender were slipping away in merry twinkling rills, Edwin found him. His face was strangely beautiful, lying there, host white, on a corporal of virgin snow.